Hi, welcome to the Executive Advisory Board meeting for September 28th, one of our quarterly meetings, so we can kind of keep everybody up to date on where we are. So if you're seeing this live, obviously, if you have questions, raise your hand, chime in, put something in chat. If there's things you want to talk about when we get to different times, absolutely. If you're watching this video later, shoot us an email. We'll put all the information in chat, and it's on our website. And obviously, if you're getting emails from us, you probably have most of the information anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically, this is me doing the call to order right now. We're going to do introductions real quick for those who may be new or just coming in. And I know a few of you have probably seen this a lot. I know Bob has been very good about attending these, so he probably knows most of us, but we'll go through the whole list. And what I'll do is I'll just read them in the list I have in participants, and I'll just call out people. That way it'll be easy, so you don't have to wonder if you're next. And then we'll shift gears and get into some news. We'll talk about game design. We'll talk about VSGI, Game and Technology Academy. And then we actually have one of our resident companies is here today to actually do a presentation, the most recent one that has joined us. And so they're going to do a little bit about their company. And so they got a few minutes and they'll have Q&A time as well. So let's start with introduction. So obviously, interim director of the VSGI, myself. Michael, you want to introduce yourself real quick? And yeah, say hi.
Certainly. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael. I'm the IT specialist for game design, VSGI, and MBTA.
Excellent. Justin, you want to say hi? I know you're going to do a big presentation later, but just tell people who you are.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Justin Amoyle, co-founder of Improve on Health. My partner, Mike, I know was here a second ago. He's having issues with Zoom too, so I don't know if he's joined back in yet. But yeah, we just joined VSGI, having an awesome time so far. Really excited to continue working with everybody.
Excellent. And Sang?
Hi, Sang Nam. I'm the director of Computer Game Design Program.
Are you in your car, Sang?
Yes, I am.
I just noticed. Don't get like if you need me to move your portion or something if you're driving, let me know because I can always just.
I'm parked and ready to do this.
Okay, yeah. Just want to make sure. Yeah. All right. Josh, want to say hi?
Hey, everyone can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. My name is Josh Emsweller, and I am the administrative assistant for MGTA.
Excellent. Bob, Mr. Bob Bates.
Hi there, I'm Bob Bates. I have been a game designer for 35 years in the industry. I was past chair of the International Game Developers Association, ran a game development studio called Legend Entertainment for 15 years, was an executive at Atari, was a chief creative officer at Zynga, and now I am a game designer again.
Excellent. Always great to have you, sir. Let's see, a few people moved around. I'll make sure. All right, so then we have, oh man, why does it keep changing for me? I don't want to miss people. All right, Jeff Green.
Hi, sorry, I'm late. I guess we're doing an introduction. Okay. I'm Jeff Green. I'm with the Prince William County Department of Economic Development. I lead all our projects in information communication technology.
Excellent. Craig. You there, Craig?
The mute button.
Yep. Oh,
hi guys, long time no see. For those who don't know, I'm now at Georgia Tech. Just got a research faculty position down here, but formerly of Aeronautical Systems Division and Air Force Labs.
Excellent. Welcome. Daniel Woolley.
Yeah, hey, thank you, James, for the invite. I'm Dan Woolley. I'm with MITRE. I oversee entrepreneurial programs within the MITRE structure and the integration of our accelerator labs at multiple locations. Glad to be here. Thanks, James.
Excellent. Appreciate it. Glad for you to be here. Mr. Piccioni.
Hey, everybody. I'm Eric Piccioni. I'm the Associate Director of the Game Design Department. I teach animation and game design, including the capstone, along with James.
Excellent. Heather.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Heather formerly with the International Monetary Fund. I just recently joined Pegasystems, getting back into the software and automation game again.
Excellent. All right, Lisa.
I'm Lisa Kahn. I'm Associate Dean for the College of Visual and Performing Arts. And although not involved in game myself, I come to this from the administrative side. And it's nice to meet some new folks here and see some old friends that I haven't worked with for some time.
Excellent. Michael? Are you able to get your mic working, Michael?
Oh, I did. I wasn't sure.
There we go.
Sorry.
Perfect. No, that's okay.
Yeah, my name is Michael Mazzacco. I'm a co-founder with Improvon, and Justin's going to give a bit of an update about what we do today. Nice to meet everybody.
Excellent. Yep. Riza, who sends out all the lovely emails under my name, but is the one that sends them all out to you.
Yeah.
Riza.
They're from James Casey, but yeah. Hi, everyone. Riza Villacorti. I'm the administrative assistant with the VSGI. It's nice to see everyone.
Ryan.
Hi there. I'm Ryan Brayton. I am the Associate Director of Development in the College of Visual and Performing Arts, and I am attending on behalf of Susan Graziano, our Director of Development, who has a schedule conflict.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you being here. Seth.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me on my mobile device. My name is Seth Hudson. I'm when I said assistant, I'm associate professor of game writing in the computer game design program at George Mason. Good to see and hear each of you.
And a great parliamentarian, but that's a different story. All right, and last but not least, Stephanie Kane.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Kane. I'm the research coordinator for the VSGI. And so if you have any research projects or ideas, I would be the person that you would contact.
And she's on a beach. All right, I think I got everybody. If somebody joined and I missed you, I apologize and say hi, but I don't see anybody I don't think I've covered. So
I'm VSGI research faculty.
How did I miss you, Jacob?
I don't know.
Where did you? Because I was going in alphabetical order and then somehow you got jumped up somewhere. Sorry, I did miss somebody. All right, Jacob, so you're the research professor. What else?
That's it. Research faculty.
That's it? All right.
That's all you need to know for now.
All right, now I'm double checking because I'm like, did somebody else get moved around? People move when their voice comes up, but that's usually the only reason. All right, weird. I think everybody else is good. All right, otherwise just yell. No, we're open here. So with that in mind, Sang, who's sitting in his car, is going to give us some updates on the computer game design program. We've been doing some awesome stuff there, and it really goes hand in hand with everything we do here because opportunities on both sides really affect students on either side. So with that in mind, I'm going to pull up the slides, and Sang's going to talk a little bit about them.
Okay, first thing, yeah. Arch Emerging, a celebration of renewal. It was hosted by CVPA last Saturday, September 25th, 2021. And we showcased senior capstone games from senior capstone classes taught by Professor Casey and Professor Piccioni, like both of them are here. And we also featured augmented reality projects done by VSGI and through independent study with me. And we also let people, especially younger generation, like kids, play virtual reality game done by my students. And can you go to next slides? And let's actually listen to this because this is was played in that Arch Emerging event.
So George Mason University offers really unique computer game design program. And we do have this small, intimate setting in this big state public university. And when I look at our program, yes, I'm confident that our program is really good because we have that balance. okay, you will get best game design and development education, and at the same time, you will become a better responsible citizen by getting this great, strong liberal arts education from College of Visual and Performing Arts and George Mason University. And because of our location, we get so many opportunities from government agencies or some big companies around us. So we do have our affiliated institute, which is Virginia Serious Game Institute, the only serious game institute in the United States. And from its name, you probably know that we study serious game. Serious game is games are not that for pure entertainment, but for other purposes such as simulation and education. And by using that, you can actually create very interesting game that can make a positive impact on our society. So we created games for DoD, US Army, some educational the organizations. So we actually show and demonstrate the true impact that serious game can bring to our society. The game is everywhere. Game makes really big impact on our everyday life. You might think you're not a gamer, but check your smartphone. You might have at least one game. And study shows that if you play this game for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes per day, it actually makes you more productive because you feel like you achieved something in this game world. So we try to translate that good things happening in the game to the real world so that you can feel you are more productive in real life. So we want to connect that game world and real world with a real world impact that game can bring out to this world. From medical simulation, or it could be just like educational game, we basically try to teach our students to make a better society using game design and development technologies they learn from George Mason University.
So this was the video played at Arch Emerging event, and event was highly successful, I believe, and our space was filled with young kids and students, and then there actually was a long line because they want to try a virtual reality game in that space. And next slide, awesome. Please.
Very good video, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And this one you can just play. This one is the booth we prepared at the 2021 Gwangju International ACE Fair. ACE stands for Asia Content and Entertainment. And we obviously demonstrated and showcased student work and the faculty work. And then the video is done by Professor John David McGrew, who is a faculty at Mason, Korea. And on the left side, we have student works and also faculty work. And you can go to actually next slide. And then as you can see, these are things we did. We actually visited Joseon University in that city. And then I gave a lecture to their students, and then we talked about some potential collaboration. And on your right bottom, that's actually boosted by Joseon University. And they got this grant to create a platform to monetize 3D models and assets for metaverse. And our students will work on creating more content for the platform. So it was very productive trip, and I took students from Mason, Korea, and also we now have this study at Mason, Korea program. So we do have two Fairfax students who actually spend the semester in Korea. So I took them to this conference as well, and it was kind of good opportunity for them to experience more things in Korea, even under pandemic. And next slide, please.
Sure.
And faculty highlights, I put myself, and I did the 2 presentations over the last weekend, and one was Innovations in Teaching and Learning Conference, hosted by Stun's Teaching and Learning Center at George Mason University. I did one workshop slash showcasing entitled Documenting and Sharing Your Teaching by Creating Open Educational Resources. So I basically went over what we practice, at computer game design program. We use Discord to document all the interaction, student-faculty interaction, and I explained that, and then how we can use, or how we can find kind of new OERs and how we can implement that in our courses. And last Sunday, I did, actually the one before, I did one kind of keynote speech at this Yongin Medical Association conference. This is the basically for physicians in Korea. They have more than like 1,000 physicians in their association. And I talked about like innovative technology in medical field, like converging game and medical simulation. And then those links are basically, you don't have to visit, but some the media coverage in Korean newspapers. And next slide, please. And another thing, Professor James Casey and I will travel to Korea at the end of October. And we are in charge of giving a 75-minute college session at the 5th International Conference on Learning Cities hosted by UNESCO. So UNESCO has this conference every 2 years, and they ask us to create this 75-minute session, and we are going to talk about some various benefits from game, and we will also talk about how we can utilize game design and development education along with lifelong learning, so that we'll talk about benefits and impact we can potentially create. And one last thing that I want to talk about, I'm going to share this one link in the chat. And we basically got this great opportunity to award students for new scholarship, NDIA scholarship, for students who want to pursue their careers or explore their career opportunities in 3D modeling and/or simulation. So yeah, great things happening for computer game design program, and it's all because of hardworking faculty members and students. And I'll stop here and thank you.
And those folks are the people behind like IETSEC, which is like the big international science, engineering, simulation engineering, and all that type of stuff conference, and it's huge. It's going to be back in person again this year, and kids are invited to go there that are going to get their awards. So it's a very big deal, and it's in Florida in December, so it's always nice. So that's always kind of a bonus. So for a few of our fine folks here at the VSGI, including myself, we're going to talk a little bit about updates here. Obviously, we do these, but we have a speaker series, and we've talked about this in the past. Myself and a few people here have nominated some good fine folks and come up with a great list of people that Riza helped coordinate. You missed the first one already if you didn't get to it. I know we sent it out in some of our newsletter and stuff, but we had a follow-up to making a board game, which we did last semester. We did one about launching a board game. Essentially, once you have something, how do you actually get it out there, and how do you actually get it made and into people's hands? Where do you get money and things like that? And just like all of these, we've archived them, and they're on our website as well. The next one is it's a cross collaboration with CVPA. They have an artist in residence series, and in fact, we have a slide right after this that talks a little bit more about the artist in question. But we're basically doing something where we take their performance and using what they call volumetric video, which is capturing them in 3D in a way that makes it usable in augmented reality or virtual reality, where you can really capture their movement and just kind of put them in space or wherever, right? And so it's something new and uses emerging technologies. And we're going to be doing a talk on that on October 4th, which is next Monday. And then we've got several more chats over the rest of the semester, and you're always welcome to attend or watch afterwards. We're going to do one on developer advocacy. Bob is doing one on creating your games on your own versus a game studio, which, as you heard earlier from the introduction, he has a lot of experience with, so that should be very educational and entertaining. And then finally, we've got one on the metaverse and how kind of things are coming together and creating these really meta concepts within entertainment and gaming in general. So I'm not going to go over the rest of this because, again, it's just on our website. You can find it at any given time. I did mention our artist in residence that we're working for. Her name is Kaniza. I want to say Shaw. I'm trying to remember her last name. I call her Kaniza, but she has a very interesting exhibit that is actually going on this weekend at 7 p.m. at the Center for the Arts. It's a play called Cartography. There are tickets available. Obviously, you know, if you're a student, it's free, but if you're coming from the community, there's a code here you can use to get % off. And it's a very interesting concept. I'm not going to go into it because I will not do it justice, but everything that we've been working with Kaniza has been very interesting. And I think the augmented reality stuff that you'll see in the talk from the speaker series will really show it off as well. So if you're interested, just go to GMU site. It's Center for the Arts, calendar.gmu.edu, and we can put a link in the, I don't think I can copy it from here, but we'll put it in there. So I'm going to do a really quick high-level concept of some of the stuff we've been doing at the VSGI for the resident companies, and then we'll head into research and stuff. Obviously, Improve on Health is going to do a bigger presentation for us a little bit later. So I'm not going to go over them. I'll let them talk about it themselves. Historical Movement Archive and Studio, we've been working with them to continue to look at how do we get them support for taking historical movements and building a library and an archive of them and putting them into VR and AR. And so we've set aside some internships that we're looking at filling now, because one of the things we want to do is go to next level technologies. So for example, using the HoloLens 2 and you know, this concept of not just virtual meetings, but virtual meetings with avatars and other elements that really will take it to the next level, like telepresence. How do we take what they're doing and also marry it with this new technology? And so we've got some internships to help them with that. Fly Guy Interactive is hard at work and almost done with phase 3 of their continuing work with communities and schools for the social and emotional development game that they've been doing. And they're always on the lookout for additional new grant opportunities or contracts. So NAMIR has got a great virtual reality backflow training program. Just think plumbing. It'll make more sense when you see the video in a sec. I have that in a moment, but they've been working with a local company and doing some amazing training videos, essentially taking what they used to train with just a video or just in person and making a virtual reality version of that, which is really cool. One of our virtual resident companies, Intergalactic Education, is continuing to hire additional interns, working on their working on their plans, working on getting their initial offering ready to go. And we've also been working with some folks that are making a game called Mastronauts, which once they get that ready to go, we'll kind of hype that up as well. So a lot of good stuff from some of these resident companies, and we're always on the lookout for more folks who want to apply and either be in person at the incubator or be a virtual resident. So this is a quick video that kind of shows off and doesn't have any sound, so I'm just going to talk over it. But it shows how essentially they've taken a VR element, and in this case they're actually using the relatively cheap basically wire-free Oculus Quest 2, which is relatively cheap, easy, to set up. You don't need a PC necessarily. You know, it doesn't have to be tethered. So it makes it much easier to use in training environments. And they recreated what this is Backflow plumbing device. So this is essentially, you see these in a lot of different places, you know, and plumbers need to know how to test that the flow is all working properly, that all the safety precautions are working. And so it walks them through and trains them on it, and then also tests and assess them on it. And again, because it's a virtual environment, it's pretty decent fidelity. And the idea is it feels like you're doing it. Instead of just watching a video and go, okay, I'll try to remember to do that, or having to take you to a place and, you know, do this, which is honestly still their final test in the series. This allows you to practice before you go in there and need to do that. So it's really well done. So far, the clients have been very happy with it and looking forward to next steps in that progress as well. Citadel Studios, who is no longer a resident company, but we like to hype up what our previous resident companies are doing, just published another game. So it uses their engine that they created to do Legends of Aria, which is their flagship game, which has been out for a while, and they continue to support. But they had somebody use that engine to create a whole new game called Codex Prologue, and Citadel Studios has actually published it and is working with them essentially to get into the hands of players. So not only are they a developer, but now they're actually a publisher of games using their engine, which is really cool. Sets them up for a lot of new stuff going on in the future as well. Stephanie, you want to give us an update on some of the current grants and or things that we got going on?
Sure. So we did the Digital Humanities Advancement Grant with the Historical Movement Archive with Brad Waller. That wasn't awarded. So we're going to go ahead and regroup and do a different grant coming up. Same in the National Humanities area. We also did the NIH Aim Ahead with Jacob, and that was, or I'm sorry, NIH Aim Ahead was with Latitech, FlyGuy, and MGTA. That has been submitted, and we're waiting to hear back.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Can you, like, I don't know if you just lean forward or something, like the mic
I'm sorry, is this better?
Yeah, that's better. It seems like it was like in and out a little bit because I think it was moving away from the mic.
Oh,
so if you just, okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I appreciate it.
So we also have the NIH Aim Ahead Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning grant. It's been submitted. It was a collaboration between Latitech, FlyGuy, and MGTA to create courses in artificial intelligence. And we've also submitted a with MGTA, or I'm sorry, not MGTA, with STEMLens and VSGI to fund educational math games. I'm sorry, this is the NSF Innovation Technology Series. We're also always looking to work with other people. So if you have any ideas or any leads on any grants or research opportunities, I would love to hear from you. We're always looking for more things to do.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we did some PhD updates. What's the biggest update so far on the PhD program that Scott, our former illustrious leader, and now running the PhD program in teaching? What's the update there?
So I heard from Scott, and they are starting to form an executive council to kind of provide assistance and support for the PhD program. The SHEV documents were submitted to the provost office for approval. So now we're just looking for that executive council. And if anybody's interested in providing that assistance or to be a part of that, they should contact Dr. Martin about that.
And so, I mean, this is a great opportunity because not only do we have an undergraduate degree in games, but really the PhD is all about promoting serious games. And so it's a PhD in serious games, several tracks and concentrations. If you're interested in learning more about it, we can obviously send you information about it. If there's, you may want to be either somebody who like wants to support it, because obviously it's going to lead to great PhD candidates, students and folks that may then go off into research into some of the local companies and government. And we're looking for people for letters of support or want to be on the council or just want to give feedback because, you know, we're looking our goal is we want to make people that will help the community of serious games and community in general. So we're always looking for that support.
Yes.
And if somebody wants to copy his email address into chat, just so it'll be easy for people. So finally, just really quick, just throw out some stuff. I mentioned earlier we're doing some stuff with HoloLens 2. We picked those up with our budget to really look at how do we start to look at some of the newer technology. And again, HoloLens 2 is still not necessarily a consumer device, but we've seen it adopted a lot more by government, military, things like that. And so needing to figure out where they're going with it and how we can help them with research or creating applications for it, we want to make sure that we have people with expertise and a platform and a process for that. So that's what we're working on. And we're also using that to help the Historical Movement Archive because they're very interested in this as a platform. I've been working with, and this is just an update for everybody. I've been working on different committees from multiple campuses so that we can figure out how do we spread what we've done well and what we've learned from running places like the VSGI over the years into either the new campuses, how do we expand it, what we're doing at the existing campuses, what support staff is going to come out. So like, for example, at the Science and Tech campus, one of the huge things that's going to come along is there's a lot of commercial retail places for people to live that are all coming into this big mixed use facility right next to the campus out there, which is actually going to open up a lot of opportunities for folks out there. It'll be a much better destination for not only school, but for businesses. And that means potentially more interest in use of the residential space, as well as partnerships within the area. So I think that'll be huge. I know we'd mentioned this, I think, before, and people may have remembered we were going to do a book signing for one of the latest books we had done that Scott was a primary author and myself and Stephanie had co-authored. But unfortunately, due to some issues currently, we're going to have to postpone it. Now, if you happen to get the book and you want it signed, I'm sure we can make it happen and figure out how to do that for you. But for right now, we had to postpone it. And once we figure out when we can do it, we'll let people know. And Mason Game and Technology Academy. I mentioned in the last meeting, summer went very well. Lots of mixed use classes. We had virtual, we had real people, and we had asynchronous, for one of the first times we'd done that, and they did great. And right now we're doing some classes, and Josh, you've been working with the folks that are doing that. This is Prince William County. Is it just Prince William allowed in schools? Which schools are we doing?
Prince William specifically. There's Prince
That's
William and there's one random person in there.
Excellent.
He was the only one I was able to pay. So
okay. And these are cool prep classes because they happen during the year. They're not necessarily just a summer a week. They happen on the weekends. And you had your first class this last weekend. Everything went well for the most part. It sounds like I heard maybe a registration issue or something, but overall the kids enjoyed it.
Yes.
Excellent. And I know you guys had some grants and scholarships. Do you have the numbers offhand? I was looking them up. I couldn't remember. I know there's like several that had kind of gone through recently, including stuff to help pay for this Prince William County. Do you have those off the top of your head?
Like number of students supported?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm finalizing the numbers in like a day or two when I get more information,
Okay.
but it's basically 4 classes with about 25 to 28 per class. So it's around, it's getting close to like around like 80 or 90 students that are being supported. And then in the spring, we're basically going to be doing it again.
That's awesome.
Basically the same numbers. So.
And that'll include some Fairfax folks, right?
In the spring or
in the spring?
In the spring potentially. That I actually am not sure of at this point.
Okay, so. I know that was in the wings, but I mean that's great because I mean what that means is we're getting good money and good partnerships to basically support these students learning this and really hopefully getting people in there that want to learn these kind of STEM topics, and that's huge. So. The other thing I wanted to kind of go over is the asynchronous courses that we did were huge. And we partnered with Envision, who's done the, premium blue chip version. They've helped us with other things, including the online versions we've done, especially when it was COVID last summer. But we're basically expanding now our list of classes that we can offer asynchronously so that students can do them at any time. We can market them to more people. And the great thing is it still has the wonderful instruction, the wonderful curriculum, the wonderful insights that our faculty and great teaching assistants bring to the table, but in an online engaging manner. It's not just watching videos on YouTube and trying to figure it out on your own. We use the same level of love and skill to really make sure that they succeed in these asynchronous environments. And so now we're adding new stuff like modeling and animation with Blender, which is a very up and coming version of a tool that typically people use like 3ds Max or other type or Maya. Blender is free and does a lot of the same stuff. It takes a lot to get used to. I'm sure Eric will tell you, it's not the nicest program in the world, but it does a lot of stuff. So we're gonna teach that. We've got cybersecurity and encryption, and we're also going to look, at least in the future, on doing some more AI and machine learning courses. And then hopefully what we're going to do is take a lot of these classes and really, with hopefully minor edits, make them available for executive education as well. So if folks want to expand their training opportunities, they're working for a company like Lockheed or MITRE, and they want to learn, how to take these new gaming technologies and make their training better. These would be courses that they could take and become, Unity experts or Unreal or Blender, and learn how to really add to their tool set. So really good stuff. We're going to do an open session. The first thing we're going to do in it, we've got a few minutes. I got about 10 minutes or so for you. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you share, Justin.
Sounds good. Let me slide deck. Okay, can everybody see our deck?
Yep, all good. I'll give you about 10 minutes and then we'll have Q&A time and all that stuff as well. So just go. If you start to ramble, I'll let you know. But I think
just cut me right off.
So, yeah,
no problem.
So improve on health, everybody.
Thanks for the awesome introduction, James. So hi, everyone. Again, I'm Justin Amoyle. You all met my partner and co-founder, Mike Mazzacco, earlier. I want to kick off just by giving you a brief overview of who we are. So we're a team of world-class engineers, as we call it, and industry experts. And our goal is essentially to improve the lives of individuals living with intellectual developmental disabilities and do that through guiding medication management. So we work a lot in the realm of independence and then also in helping the caregivers or support staff of those individuals have an easier time with their job. I'd like to highlight some of our accolades. When we kick off, we were selected by the National Science Foundation to participate in the regional and national I-Corps programs. The Virginia Center of Innovative Technology kicked off our seed round, and then we recently won the Ignite grant from Prince William County. So in addition to that, let's just talk about some of our attraction inflection points. Just mentioned the National Science Foundation's I-Corps program. That really kicked off our customer discovery and really shaped our entire platform. So we conducted about 500 customer discovery interviews from the time we started that program until now. We won a grant through that program, but the real value was being guided by these experts in customer discovery. And so that led us to really change our product up and build a product that customers wanted, not build a product that we thought was cool. That's always the way that we kind of explain it. And so that's led to some awesome early customer adoption. We've got a bunch of pilot testers and a bunch of other customers that are about to kick off. We've submitted multiple grants to organizations like NIH to do more expansive pilot tests, like 100-person pilot tests. Some other awesome updates are that our mobile apps are live right now on the iOS App Store and for Androids on the Google Play Store. Our web app is live. We use Roku for that. And then we also just found out recently that our utility patent was granted by the USPTO for our device. So that's really exciting news. I think this is a helpful slide just to go through some of the problems we solve. So from the individual's perspective, we help with medication non-compliance, lack of independence, given that a lot of the individuals in this population that we support rely on a caregiver or rely on a parent to do all of their medication management. And so as we were conducting customer discovery, we actually learned this was one of the parents' biggest fears as far as who's going to be able to do this for my child when I no longer can. And then for the individuals, it was something they really hated and caused them to lack confidence. Just the fact that they couldn't manage their own meds by themselves, couldn't do the thing that they required to kind of get through the day and accomplish their daily living tasks. This was kind of like the root cause of a lot of those issues. We've got some cool tech that helps us with medication security. So from the organization perspective and the individual perspective, we're able to stop individuals from stealing the meds with a custom lock we invented, and then push out an alert in real time to let a parent, a caregiver, an administrator, an organization know that someone is making that attempt and kind of stop it before it starts. From the organization perspective, we do a lot of stuff with automation, with medication record keeping. So right now, in these supported living agencies that we work with, everything is manual. They're using paper and pencil to check off when meds are administered. They have a key that they have to remember where they put it and then find it, unlock it from a file, unlock the meds from a file cabinet, then take out a med lock box, remember where the key is for the med lock box, bring that and a 3-ring binder to the medication administration location. I won't keep going, but it's a ridiculous process. And they see us as a technology that can automate a lot of that. And then for the families, I mentioned a big pain that we solved earlier, but a big value proposition that we have for these families is just providing that real-time data access. So if you can imagine, you raise your child for 18 or 22 years, now you bring them to this organization who's essentially supposed to support their lives. These families still want feedback that the individual is taking their meds properly and actually learning to do this independently. So this slide just sheds some light into the types of individuals that we actually spoke to shape our product. So we were meeting with individuals with neurodiversities, the families of those individuals, directors of these supported living agencies, residentials and medical directors within those organizations, caregivers, they're called direct support professionals in the IDD space, so DSPs, and then also regulatory officials. The numbers really make it clear why our system's so needed. We've been working a bit with the Virginia Department of Social Services, so they gave us the data on these sorts of organizations over the last 5 years. There's 20,000 medication management violations for under 20,000 people. So that's just something we really want to stop from happening. It's not fair to the individuals that have to endure these errors. Also, apart from the errors, like administering the wrong dose, administering the wrong amount of medications, there's a lot of theft that goes on in these agencies. So in 2019, there was 47.2 medication doses lost or stolen in these long-term care agencies. We think our technology can really reduce that. And then the last thing is, what's really important is we're not just doing this for the individual, we're also doing it for the organization. So in the intellectual developmental disability supported living space, like I said before, direct support professionals are the ones that are really responsible for the hands-on medication management. And so what happens is these tasks are so manual and they're so overwhelmed that when errors occur, they're kind of like the last person to blame. So if they can't institute a correction plan within 10 days, they get fined and can lose their license from the Virginia Department of Social Services. So they need to kind of come up with a correction plan. And the easiest way to do that is basically just fire the person who caused the error. But that doesn't really make sense because there's all these other kind of tertiary impacts of doing that. Just to shed some light on that, for an organization with 250 staff, it costs them about $625K a year at this turnover rate to rehire and retrain. So just to reiterate, the who that we're focused on are organizations that support individuals with developmental disabilities as well as the individuals themselves. And the reason is because they need to eliminate medication errors and thefts to stay in business and improve the lives of their clients. Just to shed some light on some initial pilot testing results, medication compliance in our population averages about 40 to 52%. Our first pilot tester, which we've improved our system a lot since then, but we were able to get compliance up to 88.6% for them. So that was a huge increase. And more important than the stat was the usability side of things, because this population is not exactly the most tech savvy population. And so that was a big focus of ours to make all of our interfaces really fun and interactive and easy to kind of use. And so that's something we're really excited for James and everyone at VSGI's help also to gamify those interfaces and make them more exciting. But this is just a quote. I won't read the whole thing, but basically the executive director told us using our app is a piece of cake for her. It's one of the easiest apps she has, and she feels like anyone could use it. So that was very exciting. We spent a lot of time on our interfaces going back and forth with these pilot testers. But this is our platform. So we're not just a medication dispenser. That's actually really a minimum piece of our platform. The software really not just a lot of the value propositions for us. So we have a web app that's meant for an administrator. They can see all the caregivers, all the individuals they support within their organization, dashboards, things like that. There's a mobile app for all the users. There's 2 types of roles within the mobile app: caregivers, which could be an actual caregiver or even be a parent, and then the individual, of course. And then we have these devices that store, manage, and dispense the meds. I just included a couple snapshots of our mobile app. If you could imagine you're in a caregiver role and you got lucky and happened to be the caregiver of 2 presidents, you could click into one of your presidents. You could see their whole medication schedule. If you have a dose upcoming, you'll see this interface you see all the way on the right where you can dispense it. And then once the person has taken it, you can confirm it. The reason this is really important is because, like I was explaining earlier, this is completely manual right now. They use what's called a medication administration record sheet, which is kept in a 3-ring binder. And then all the data from that has to be transferred to their digital EMR. And so we can automate that whole process. So over time, what happens is you get kind of this historical adherence log, which you see on the right, as you're confirming doses. If you miss them, if they're early, if they're late, we store all that data, and then we try to correlate it to impacts. So every night we send out a notification for the individuals and the caregivers, basically to tell us how they're feeling. And this is something we really want to make a better experience. I mean, we already learned that it's a lot more usable for the individuals that we're working with to select their answers with emojis rather than text, but we actually want to gamify this whole experience. So we've talked a lot to James about how do we make this more interactive and elicit that information, because a big problem in the IDD community is it's really hard to communicate things that aren't frequent conversations. So for example, if you have a med change and all of a sudden you have an odd rash on your head, that's not something that is likely to be brought up unless prompted and constantly prompted. And so we try to make it easier to discover those sorts of dangerous side effects and bad feelings. We actually did that with one of our pilot testers, which was really exciting for us because, you know, his mom basically said, you know, this sort of thing has happened before when my son got a medication change and we didn't catch it for months, and they caught it in a matter of days while they were using our system. So just to reiterate some of our differentiators, we've got this really awesome medication security technology that we've patented. It's a set of sensors and motion sensors. And basically the goal of that is to reduce thefts and overdoses. We've got this multi-user connected medication management system, which is imperative in the sorts of enterprise settings we're working in. It's not an assisted living home where you have 300 people living on the same property. These are distributed homes where you have caregivers going back and forth to each one. And so each device has to live with each individual, but just as importantly on the software perspective, each person needs to have their own system, and the caregivers need to be able to work in a distributed setting. We thought we were using games when we made this slide. As we started working with James more, we realized we haven't really even gotten that far on that yet. So we are looking to improve our gamification abilities, but our whole thing is routine, repetition, and rewards. That's really what drives the experience of our app. And then also this real-time data access is a big differentiator for us, providing real-time access to medication impacts, access attempts, and then compliance logs. These are data points that these organizations need and don't have access to in real time right now. I don't know how important this is for everyone here, so I'll kind of breeze through it, but these are our main competitors. And we like to be as transparent as possible. So medication dispensing, reminders, and monitoring are like really standard for any medication management system. All of our competitors do that, and so do we. The big differentiators for us are what set us apart in the IDD supported living space. We're also looking to bring those capabilities to individuals undergoing recovery and veterans as well, because they share a lot of the same pain points that we learned that through customer discovery. Why now? I mean, this is a rapidly growing market. Since 2000, IDD birth rates have tripled. 1 in every 54 children is diagnosed with IDD, some form of it right now. So as we see this market growing, it's a market that is not good with medication compliance. I mentioned the rates earlier, yet 88 to 94% of them are prescribed meds. So you've got this growing market where a large percent are taking medications, but not very many of them are taking them properly. And then to make things even more complicated for the individuals, there's been this push from the federal level of getting individuals out of this institutionalized group home setting and into this community integrated supported living setting. And so when that happens, the whole living environment changes. And that's where the need for new innovations like ours come up. They need technologies that are going to drive independence and make this new living situation easier. I'll cover some of our team members really quick. You got a chance to meet Mike. Obviously, you're hearing from me now, but since Mike's not briefing, kind of gives me a good opportunity to talk him up because he's a pretty humble guy. So Mike is a West Point graduate. He's a veteran. He's managed over $160 million budget for advanced R&D programs for different federal agencies. And best of all, he's just an awesome partner. So we've worked together for a while. This is kind of something that we're really passionate about, and we're just putting everything we can into it. As far as our advisors, I'll call out some pretty awesome ones. David Powell's been a huge help for us. We meet with him almost every week. Dr. Saulnier literally wrote the book that's internationally recognized to diagnose autism. And if anyone has any questions about any other ones, feel free to ask. I just don't want to go too long, but that's pretty much all I have for you all.
No, that was very good timing. Thank you.
Let me know.
Yeah, no, it's great. As people can see, there's a lot of work has gone into this, and the fact that they want to, use game technology and psychology and really engage the user to alleviate some of their issues and make it engaging and make it useful to them has been a big part of why we partnered up with them. So I know before we go, Lisa or Ryan, did you guys have anything that you wanted to bring to our attention? I know you guys are here to also listen in, but was there anything coming up on your schedule you guys wanted to throw out while we had a minute?
So yes, Sang summarized Arts Emerging, which was this past Saturday. There's about 350 people attended, and so we're glad that there was pretty heavy foot traffic in the game design space. And then speaking of grants, we got an opportunity from Google to apply for a community grant program, and we are going to submit for MGTA, and that's due, I think, on the 5th of October. So I'll be in touch with you, James and Stephanie, with a draft of that in the next couple of days.
Awesome. Great. Really appreciate it. Cool. Lisa, did you have anything? She might have. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to add, you mentioned the PhD program coming up for the game program, and that has been circulated with two other colleges, and we're gaining support and participation. And I think the collaboration, the interdisciplinary collaboration is going to be really setting a new model for the university in terms of an interdisciplinary degree. So it's quite exciting.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Does any of our fine guests have anything they want to hype up? Like, do you guys have things that are going on that you wanted to throw out to the masses, links you wanted to pass on in chat, things like that? I mean, I know, Bob, you've got that talk coming up. We'll hype that up for you. But other things that you guys want to, talk about, or there's questions that we haven't hit, we appreciate everybody coming out and learning what we're doing. And obviously the biggest thing is if there's anything in here or anything that sprang to your mind from any of the conversations or news points or things we talked about, reach out to us after this. We'll set up meetings. We'll talk to other folks that we want to make these connections. We want to do more for our students and our faculty, and really this community that the VSGI and MGTA and all the fine folks serve. So feel free to just yell if you got something, post it in chat. But I do appreciate everybody taking the time and coming out and participating and listening, and we really appreciate this. We do it
James,
for, yeah.
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
I think it's October 19th. I could be wrong on the date. The Board of County Supervisors will be reviewing and appropriating ARPA funds, which include economic development funds. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like $10 million that we'll be doing grant programs for. So including, I think, a small business revolving loan fund will be considered. So stay tuned, but we'll get that information out as once we hear from the board of whether they actually approve of those things and what programs we actually stand up. But there will be money coming in theory.
Well, I mean, hey, we've seen some good stuff from the Ignite grants already, so that's as we heard here, so that's awesome. Appreciate it. Anybody else? I know we're right around time, and I appreciate everybody sticking around. But anybody else want to hit anything that we may not have? Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. You guys have a great evening, rest of your week, all that wonderful stuff. Feel free to come out to the speaker series, always good stuff. Pay attention to our newsletter. If you have anything that you want to chat about or ideas or opportunities, hit me up anytime. Hit any of us up. We're looking for ways to help out and collaborate. And so we really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.